What's going on, guys? I'm Banger Custom Offsets, and today we are going through some more mistakes that you can make when building your truck. And today we're going to talk about how you could possibly f up the easiest part of the whole build, and that is ordering wheels and tires. There is one way you could go about this. You go out to your truck, you see what the stock wheel and tire size is, you go to the website, you find a different looking wheel and tire that's the same size, you throw it on the truck, you're good to go, right? But we're Custom Offsets, we don't roll that way. We're trying to put the biggest, the widest, the most ridiculous setups on the truck, so that's what we're gonna talk about. So first things first, we're gonna start with the wheels. Arguably, the biggest transformation you can make to a truck, right, is the wheels. So let's make sure that you do it the right way. Now, we can start this little journey in our gallery. You can go there, you can see what other people have done, similar suspensions, similar wheel and tire sizes. Get the sizing you want, the look you want, and then we'll go into what the wheels look like. So biggest mistake you make is just finding a wheel that you like first and then seeing if they make it in the size you need. It's much easier to figure out your size, filter by the size so you don't fall in love with a wheel that's unavailable in your bolt pattern, unavailable in the sizing that you need. I go through this all the time. Now, as far as the wheels go, there's really no difference between them. You do get what you pay for, but it's not a structural thing, it's more of a finish quality. The more expensive a wheel is, generally the better the finish is, the longer it'll hold up, things like that. So you'll want to keep that in mind when you're looking at wheels. Shopping by price alone isn't really gonna get you there. The biggest things you're gonna want to look at there are the styles. I mean, if you're not someone who cares about looks or is going to really take the time to make the truck look right all of the time, maybe avoid a directional wheel. But if you want that truck to look uniform all the time and really stand out, you're gonna wanna find, those Archons with the proper directional to have a unique look. But you can't rotate those regular. Then you got wheels backwards on one side and right way on the other, and it just looks ridiculous. Then if you're one of those guys who just wants function, go out and get yourself a regular set of wheels with a non-directional design. Next, we'll get into the tires. Now, there's a lot that you can actually screw up when getting a set of tires, because, again, it sounds easy, right? You find a tire, you sort by price lowest, and you just grab that. That's not exactly how it works. Now, first things first, again, we're gonna go into the gallery, we're gonna see what exactly is gonna fit, right? Whether or not you're willing to trim or how much you're willing to trim, what's gonna fit underneath your truck, and then we'll go from there. Once you've figured out what actually does fit, we're gonna go into the types of tires there are. You've got your highway tires, your street tires, if you get, doing that lower wide look. Or we've got your all-terrains if you're just trying to, get a tire that's gonna be good all year round. You don't wanna have to swap out sets in the summer and the winter, or maybe you live somewhere there is no winter and you just need like a nice all-terrain tire. That's a great option too, same as your hybrids. Now, if you want to go really aggressive, we get into the mud tires. Consider noise, consider rock chips, consider low tread wear, right? Decide where you want to go with this, how much effort you want to put into this truck, how much money you want to sink into this. Do you want to be buying tires every other year? Are you driving highway all the time and you don't want to be putting tires on all the time? You don't want to listen to the road noise. Then, go with your all-terrain hybrid tire. If you just want the super aggressive look, there's plenty of MTs out there, XTs out there that are going to give you that super aggressive look, super aggressive noise, and hey, if you got the money and you don't care, spend it. Now, tires are the one thing where you just sorting by price low to high is not going to get you what you need. There's a lot more to it than that. So once you got your style or your lug pattern down, you know what you want, the next thing we're going to do is consider what you're going to use the truck for. Is this a daily driver? Is it a 1500? Is it a 2500? Are you hauling all the time? Is this a work truck? That's where we're going to want to go next, and that's where load index becomes a huge, huge thing. Now, up to this point, you may have decided that you like a 2414 and you like a 33 on that, you like that low sidewall, but you drive an F250 and you're going to want to put a trailer behind it at some point. Guess what? You're likely not going to be able to find a tire with a load index high enough to support the weight that you're trying to do, and you're going to have to go right back to the drawing boards. So consider that as well, what you're going to do with the truck before you go out and buy tires. Sure, it's going to look really cool, but what if someday you decide you need to use that truck as a truck? Now you need to have a second set of wheels and tires. Just throwing that out there. Load index is just a very important thing that a lot of people overlook. And this isn't 1995. You can't go off of the load range anymore. D, E, F, all that really negates is the tire ply. how many plies it is. You can have a low pro tire that is a 12 ply. It's got lots of plies, but it's only a 50 PSI max, 2,200 pound max tire. That's not gonna get you a skid steer on a gooseneck behind you. It just isn't, you know, and I'm sure there's gonna be lots of comments, lots of argument of, I do this all the time with my diesel, and I'm sure you do. Moral of the story is, you shouldn't. It's not technically safe. We can't tell you that you should do that. Maybe you can make it work, but if you can't, guess what? You're the one to blame. So now, you know, you've gone through all these steps, right? You've got your wheels picked out. They're the color you want, they're the direction you want, they're the style you want. You found a tire that's not too loud, not too quiet, it's got the right load range, not gonna stick out too far from the fender. What's next? We're gonna put those bad boys together. So the last mistake that you don't wanna make is trying to buy these things separate. Custom offsets, we sell them as a package. They come to your door, mounted, balanced, shipping, all of that stuff is free. It's all included in that price. All you gotta do is put the things on. It's that simple. But while we're in that process of putting them together, there's one more thing we wanna talk about. Well, two, but one step, but it's two things. Stay with me here. TPMS and weights. Now this is something nobody really ever thinks about. You know, it's an added cost. It's one of the upsell items, right? You just click no, no, no on all of that, get me into my package, get me out of this store. These are things you need to think about. Any truck newer than 2005 is gonna require TPMS sensors. It's not a suggestion, it's technically a law that you have to have those installed in your vehicle. And yeah, you could probably, in theory, take the stock sensors out of your wheels you have, swap them into these, but now you're paying to dismount your old set, dismount your new set, swap some sensors over, just get them out the bat. Even if you're not sure your truck takes sensors, if it's 2005 or newer, just get them. It's just so much easier. Have them in there, have them ready to go. Then you won't have any lights on the dash. You don't have nothing to worry about at that point. The next thing is gonna be the weights. Now, there's a lot of debate about this between balance beads and regular stick-on weights. My take on this, I don't see where balance beads are beneficial at all, period, unless you're an over-the-road truck driver putting on a lot of miles. So, a lot of guys will get them just so they don't see the weights on the inside of the wheel, and then you'll have a vibration they complain about it, because starting and stopping, those weights, the way balance beads work is they spin around in the tire. So if you're at a low speed or you're stopping and starting, they're basically just hanging out in the bottom of that wheel. They're not finding the spots to balance out the tire at that low of a speed. You're gonna have a vibration issue. Just go with the stick-on weights. It's significantly easier. I don't care if they're 18s and 33s or 17s and 42s or whatever. Get the stick-on weights. It's significantly better investment unless you're gonna be doing a lot of long-distance highway driving where you're gonna be at a steady speed. Then the beads do actually kind of help because they're constantly adjusting that balance and do give you a little bit better ride. That's why semis use them. So I know we kind of covered a lot really quickly, but I hope that helps you guys not make any mistakes when you're ordering your wheels and tires. And remember, package them together. It's the best way to do it. CustomOffsets.com. Pick up some suspension while you're at it. I'll see you guys later. Peace.